Hi, and welcome to part 4 of West End Talks. Today we have the privilege of being joined by Rico Bakker from the Swing. From the Swing, and Jamie. Everybody's talking about Jamie on the West End. That was a tongue twister there, Rico. Welcome. How are we today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, thank you for joining us. It's a privilege to have you here. It's a privilege to have everybody here. I think we'll get straight into it. A couple of questions to start with that I'm asking everybody. More about yourself rather than anything you've been in or anything. So the first one is what got you into performing?
My sister used to dance, so I always had to come along with her actually, and just watch her dance basically. And because of that, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. And then ended up doing competitions and performances, and never really stopped actually.
So it's the kind of sister that kind of got you into it, really.
Yeah,
yeah.
like a typical dance story, really. But
yeah. What was your first performance?
first performance.
What show were you first in?
So obviously I'm from Holland, and we've got this singer there called Kim Leanne, probably not known very well. But yeah, she did this performance in an arena, and I got to do that as a child. So that was my first big performance.
So there's a big arena?
Yeah.
Similar to like Wembley or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So just a small gig then for you. Just a small
I mean,
one.
there were probably like about 100 kids, but it was my first.
That was your, yeah. And it was special to you because it was your first, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's into that. That's everybody says, oh, their first performance was a small thing in a church hall. Or no, you go straight for the arena. I love that.
It's because I did competitions first, so it's not a show, but
but the first kind of show was big arena. Yeah. Brilliant. Fantastic. So what the whole point in West End Talks is to give the fans the chance to get asked the questions that they don't necessarily always have the chance to ask. So the next wee bit is just going to be on questions from the fans. So we've got them through different social media, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So we've got them all through there. So first one is from Adam, and he asks, what made you want to be part of Jamie?
It's one of those shows that are very new and different, and that's what I really like about it. Like, I think if you look back 5 years ago, you wouldn't really see any shows where you would see hip hop or like commercial or that kind of stuff. Whereas with Jamie, like the choreographer, for example, like she knows what the foundations of hip hop are, and like, yeah, it's just so different. It's very new.
So the kind of dance style that took you to. Great.
Yeah.
Mia asks, it's a kind of statement and a question in one. She says that swings obviously are sometimes forgotten. They're forgotten parts because they're not always on the stage, certainly not by the real fans, but although you just work just as hard as the other cast because you need to know various parts. What Mia wants to know is how many parts can you step into if needed?
So at the moment, there's 8 tracks that I cover for Jamie, and then I've got a second cover which is Young Loco, so that's 9 in total.
All right, Young Loco, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it that many times. I'm trying to think, like, okay, Young Loco.
Yeah.
You've been on for Levi.
Yes.
See, done my research.
Yeah. Well done.
I've done my research. Nothing gets by me. So you've got Levi. Who's the other ones in? If you know?
So I've got Levi, Joe. Don't know what's going on with me. Sorry, Mickey.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Basically, all the year 11s except for Pretty and Dean.
Pretty, I can understand. Yes.
Yeah, and Dean obviously got a bigger role as well.
Yeah, so he's but no, Pretty I think more to the fact it's the female.
Yeah.
than anything else. Although it's the right kind of show for that. They could do that.
We do cover the girls' tracks as well.
Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's an interesting fact then.
Yeah.
Claire asks, have you tried to drag yourself?
I have.
Because of the show?
Yeah, it depends on the show and what happens, but there could be times where I'd have to put the makeup on myself.
Oh, but have you tried it? Was this just because of the show? I think that's.
So in rehearsals, they obviously do it on me and see what works or what won't. Because obviously, the guys in the show now, they're all white, so therefore, if I would have to go on and play young Loco, it would be like a small adjustment to her face.
I can imagine.
But yeah, I had to try it on myself as well.
Because you've got Rufus Hound at the moment who plays a big Loco or older Loco, so it kind of look a bit strange. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can understand that one.
Yeah.
Whereas, has there been a BAME actor that's played Loco yet? I'm trying to think back. There was Shane Ritchie.
Yes, Keenan plays young Loco as well.
No, I mean the older Loco. Sorry, the adult Loco.
Oh,
I think there's been a BAME actor.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No, I'm trying to think back. But I don't think so yet. Maybe yet. We'll get that in, and then you don't have to change the makeup too much. Alison asks, she wants to know, what would your drag name be?
My drag name?
Yes.
Ooh, good one. Never really thought about that.
Because obviously Jamie's is me, because we find that out during the show. But what would...
I'm going to have to think about that. I'm not sure.
We'll come back to that one, right? Have a think, we'll come back.
Okay.
James wants to know, have you met the real Jamie?
No, I haven't actually.
You've not yet?
Because I literally just did a cast change just before I joined. So I did everything on my own actually, till the last week before I went on. So I got to meet everyone quite late, but I never met the real Jamie, no.
Not yet. There's still time. He'll be back. I'm sure I think he's there quite often.
Yeah.
He's in and out quite often. Although I think he's been more on the tour at the moment. Because obviously the tour had just kicked off. So I think he's... And it kicked off in Sheffield. So I think it's kind of more focused on that at the moment. So you said there was a cast change just before you arrived. So did you not come in with a cast change?
No. So I believe they started in January. Whereas I joined in February, just because one of the guys that was in the cast had to leave early for another show. So they needed someone else.
They needed somebody.
Yeah.
Good. So Rachel asks, she's going to offer Jamie a bit and going into your, I think she's been stalking you a bit, because she asks, what is it like being a dancer at Disneyland?
In Disneyland, it's great. So whenever I work for them, I only do short contracts. So they'd literally just fly me over for 1 or 2 weeks, do the show and go home, which is great because they get to see Paris as well. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's great fun.
She said she'd love to work there. That's what she wants to do, is work in Disneyland. I think most girls at some point in their life would like to work in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Sam is asking, I think it's quite a good one to ask you. What advice would you give to a boy that wants to dance?
Just always go for it, even though you're the only boy. It doesn't matter. I always used to be the only boy at my local dance school. Just go for it and have fun, enjoy it, and get everything out of it.
Good advice. That's good. Because I obviously there has been a lot of recently with what happened in America and or what was broadcast on TV in America and things. So there's been a lot of stick with boys dancing. I can't dance. I have 2 left feet. I hold my hands up. I tried it, but I have 2 left feet when it comes to dancing. But I support guys dancing and girls too. Don't get me wrong, but you watch Strictly and you see some of them and they're more athletic than some athletes. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Dancers are
Yeah.
are very athletic. So I don't know why, but guys get so much stick for it. But hey ho.
I never knew it as well. Like I always got bullied for it as well, but you know, like just have to accept them as well in a way. Like
That's it, and it's a bit like the story of Jamie to a certain extent. It's just do you be
yeah,
you,
exactly.
you do you,
Yeah,
and whatever that is, go for it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's good advice. Thank you. So Jason wants to know. He's asking, what's the best thing about being in Jamie?
I think the cast, like obviously the story is amazing, but the cast is so diverse and everyone has a different background, different religions, different ethnicities. Like it makes it so diverse, and that's what I like about the cast.
Yeah, I think it's one of the good things about Jamie. Actually,
Yeah.
is it is one of the most diverse casts out there, and it's also the fact it's like it's a true story as well. Like it actually did happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's certain points of it that have been exaggerated or changed for entertainment purposes,
Mm-hmm.
but certainly being an LGBT member myself, I remember the first time seeing it and the scene between the mum and dad when he just goes and he storms off or something. I can't remember, but I just remember I shouted. I just blurted out because that's so much like my father. Like his dad is just so much like mine, and it is. I think it does. Whether you're a drag queen or not, because I'm not a drag queen.
But even the year 11s, like those characters, I feel like everyone can relate to them in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, say for example, is someone that looks up to Jamie as well, but he's kind of not brave enough to tell the boys off for bullying him, which is kind of, so you've got the bullies, you've got Jamie that gets bullied, and you've got the in-betweeners, kind of like they go along
friends
with
who are girls and pretty, and so you've got the different definitely 100%. So Tom's asking, did you see the original cast in the show? And if you did, are you surprised that it's as much a success as it is?
I did see the original cast. Like 2 years ago, I think. Absolutely loved it. Never knew I was going to be in a show like that. And I think the show has changed a bit, like characters like slightly changed and all that. But overall, I think it kind of stayed the same. Like,
yeah. Oh, definitely. I think characters will change as the actors change. Even, and I don't mean like change as in, like even Levi, between yourself and I can't think who actually plays Levi. That's terrible. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had his name 2 seconds ago. So just between you, even just between you two who are in the same cast, that when you step on as Levi, you'll play it slightly different than he does. So same about obviously you and when you and him do the Levi, you'll do it completely different. It's similar to Shane Ritchie and Rufus Hound. They'll do it not completely different, but there'll be bits of it that'll be different. And between obviously John McCree, Leighton, and Noah, I forgot his name there. Again, I haven't seen Noah yet. I did have tickets booked, but certain thing happened and has been cancelled. But I will get to see him. I'm sure he'll all be back soon enough. Don't worry about that. So are you surprised that it was a success then? Like, seeing it 2 years ago, would you have expected a story like that to have still been running and now being on a UK tour?
At the time, no. But I feel like nowadays people want to see stuff like that. Like people want to see new shows instead of the old shows coming back over and over again. Like, and Juliet is like, for example, is such a new idea and everyone seems to love it as well. So I feel like people just want to see new things nowadays.
It's probably the biggest UK musical to open for a long while. Apart from, like, we're not talking Juliet, we're talking like recently before Juliet came out. It probably is. There's certainly nothing bigger that I can think of UK wise that was specifically UK writers and stuff, and a UK story, completely UK story. I think it'll go to Broadway. I think, watch this space. Broadway will want it after October.
Yeah, because when I went to see it when it opened, they went on tour to Amsterdam as well, and a few of my friends saw it and they absolutely loved it. So it's such a new concept, a new idea, and
That's it. And it's a story that everybody can relate to, no matter who, whether you're LGBT or not. It's because that's the thing. It's not just an LGBT musical. It's about somebody just making it as them, rather than it focuses on him being a drag queen and being gay, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not the main focus. I think the main story come from it is the being what you want. So Michael asks, two things. He asks, what's your favourite song, and what's your favourite song to perform, if they're different?
My favourite song is the last song in the show, Out of the Darkness. Just because of the lyrics. Like, the lyrics are great. I think everyone can relate to it. Like especially as dancers, or like performers in general, you're always in the unknown for like auditions and all that, and like you just have to wait for that place where you belong. Like, it's crazy. But and my favorite song to dance to is probably Work of Art, because it's so it's so not empty actually, and it's probably one of the hardest choreographies in the show as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I can imagine. I just remember the arms.
Yeah.
That's the one bit I remember. As I say, I'm not a dancer, so don't what do you call it, mark me on dancing skills. Lynn asks, what was it like to step on a West End stage for the first time?
It was great. It's crazy because obviously, like, everyone has a dream about it. Like, you grow up with it, you know about it. If you go to college, that's all you hear about. But yeah, it was unreal. And like, for me personally, it was just so great to have all my friends there as well to support me, which made me even more nervous, obviously. But yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine. Definitely can imagine that. Yeah. It's definitely so, because Jamie is your first West End production, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought that. I was sure about that. Jade's asking a bit more about the dancing side rather than Jamie. She wants to know, I think you've kind of answered it with this question at the start, but forget about your sister's side of it. How did you get into dancing? Like, where do you start?
So I started at the local dance school in Holland, where I danced for about 4 years. Don't know if you know the Finger Boys.
I know the Finger Boys, yes.
Yeah, so one of the 2 female singers, she was my first ever dance teacher, actually.
Just name drop there.
Name drop.
Name drop.
Yeah, but like, so she was into that world already. So therefore I got to do some shows and perform for like bigger audiences and all that.
Yeah, she definitely, yeah. The Finger Boys were massive when
they were big,
yes.
yeah.
They were massive when I was.
And they still are actually. Like, they still. So I worked on a cruise last year in Australia, and they still went on tour over there, which is crazy because that's them going for about 10 years now.
The minute the music starts and you're up in the dance floor, like,
and everyone knows it.
Yeah. Everybody knows where you're going to. Right? Everybody knows it. They're iconic tunes, especially if you're a 90s kid. Born in the 90s, definitely they're the party tunes that everybody knew. And she also asks, Jade also asks, is dancing on TV any different to dancing on stage?
Yes.
You know, you've done The Voice Kids.
Yeah, very different. Yeah, you just have to know the choreography. Like, you always have to know it inside out, but when you work for TV, you obviously have your different camera angles, so you slightly have to adjust it, whereas on stage you can just dance straight forward basically and play it out, whereas for TV you might have to like circle around or look up or whatever.
That makes sense. So you've done The Voice Kids.
Yeah.
You've done that quite a few times, or is it just the one?
No, just once.
Just once.
Yeah, just
what year was that?
2018.
So it might still be an ITV player. We'll have a look later. I'm sure we'll all be checking the ITV player to see. The last kind of question from the public, apart from the one you've not answered yet, but we'll come back to that one. So I'm hoping you're think caps on. So Elliot wants to ask, again, this one's not about Jamie. Do you feel performing college is necessary, or does it work as well with just normal college or uni?
I think I've got some people in my class that haven't trained. I'd say mentally it does make a difference, as in the way they raise you in a way and like prepare you for the industry. That is good, and that can be your advantage to other people. But dance wise, I feel like if you just do your classes in like dance schools and be there and get seen, that could totally work as well. So, yeah, it depends on the individual, I guess.
Yeah, it depends, and just it's a bit of luck as well, isn't it? Just to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and especially in college, you get seen by so many directors and people that kind of is an advantage for yourself as well. Like, you get seen before you're even out there anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. And coming back to the question you didn't answer, because I've got good memory. Have you had to think about what your drag name would be?
Just go for Loco then.
Loco.
Loco. Yeah.
It was a bit of a get out there, Rico.
It kind of is.
Yeah, Loco Chanel.
Sorry.
Wonder where you got that one from. That's great. So that brings us to the end of the fans' questions. I know there was a lot of interest because there's a whole Jamie fan base out there, so they're all dying to hear the interview. So we'll get this up as quickly as we can after tonight. But just finishing the same way as we normally do with everybody, just asking our West End Talks quickfire round, as we like to call it. But there's no you don't need to answer quickly, so don't worry about that. Okay. So the first question is, what's your favourite musical theatre song?
I'm gonna go for it's actually a pop song, but it's in And Juliet. I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. It is a really good song. So it is MT, but it's not really MT.
No. I haven't seen And Juliet yet, but yeah, I've heard the soundtrack and it's absolutely fantastic. And you've seen clips. I was at West End Live last year for when they did their first performance before even Manchester happened, and it certainly looked good, and the reviews are outstanding.
Yeah.
So if you could have any dream role, what would it be?
Playing in Tarzan, the musical, would be my dream. Like, I absolutely love that show.
That's not been on the West End yet, has it?
No, it's been in Germany and in Holland as well, and currently in Sweden, I believe.
I think it's been on off-Broadway, but I don't think it's been on Broadway yet either. So Mr. Weber or Mr. McIntosh, if you're listening, I have a Tarzan here. You can just slip into the role fine, get it on West End, your other shows end. That's a good choice. It's one for the musical that's forgotten about. You forget Tarzan the musical, yeah. That's a good answer. So if another one that we like to ask is if you could have any gender bend role, so not a drag role, so not like Jamie or that, but if you could play any female, it's traditionally female, what would you play?
I'd play Mary Poppins. I just
Great choice.
absolutely love that role. I do love Disney anyway, but Mary Poppins is just great. Yeah, great character.
Have you seen Zizi yet?
Yeah, I have.
She's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah, Mary Poppins is a good character.
Yeah.
So I think you've maybe touched on 2 of them, but what is your top 5 shows?
Aladdin isn't top 5. Tarzan and Juliet, Dreamgirls, and on number 1 I have to put Memphis.
Oh, that actually, we were talking about that the other day. Actually, they need to bring that back because it was Beverly Knight that was in the last one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
She did the last West End production.
Yeah.
And, the guy that was in Les Mis, I can't think his name at the moment, but there was those 2 that did it, and we were actually talking about that the other day. It was fabulous.
Yeah, such a great show.
Yeah, need to bring that back.
Yeah.
The revival of Memphis and get you into it. Again, if you're watching, Mr. Weber or whoever else wants to do it, use that as your audition piece.
Yeah.
Last one, because unfortunately that is at the end, but it's been great chatting to you. But just to finish up, have you heard of the Ice Bucket Challenge?
I have.
You have. You don't need to worry. We're not going to ask you to pour ice over you, so don't worry. But at the end of that, so you did the ice, and then you were to nominate somebody to do it next. So what we're doing is we're doing the West End Talks nomination. So it's something similar. You've now done your talk, your pain's over. So it's now to inflict pain on somebody else.
Okay.
So you can nominate anyone in theatre, whether that be on or off stage, whatever you wish. But who would you like to nominate?
I'm going for my dear friend Tegan Bannister. She recently did Les Mis in town and the tour as well.
Yeah, I thought they recognised the name, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So all we ask then is once you finish this chat, pop onto Twitter, Instagram, all the rest of it, and just pop a post saying you've just done your talk with the West End Talks. Tegan, it's now your turn.
Okay, I will.
If we can get her in to do a chat. That would be great. But unfortunately, that is us at the end. It's been an absolute pleasure talking
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. And all that's left to say to you guys at home is, if you can, the whole point of us, me and Rico being here today, is to try and raise money for Acting for Others, that to support the actors, especially at the moment, but throughout the whole year. So if you can donate anything at all, the link's going to be in the bio below. So pop along to Just Giving and give what you can. But join us next time for you guys at home, where we have Mia, who was in the original lineup for Six, the musical. So we're talking to her in the next couple of days, so join us then. But again, once again, Rico, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute privilege. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.